Caramo, fiesta forever. Come on and sing along all night long.
A little bit different today. On this 18th day of November, I'm joined now by Blake Burris, who has been named the best batting average in the Prospect League. And Blake, first, right off the bat, congratulations. Thank you for being here. And what a hell of an accomplishment. How does it feel?
It feels great, but first off, I'd like to thank you for having me as well. But yeah, it was a good time, you know. Besides like the individual aspect of it, you know, just being a part of that program again, and you know, having the opportunity to come back for a third year, and you know, play right here in Alton, you know,
Right.
so close, pretty much where we're all from, is just an amazing opportunity to have.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because I know a lot of the guys that have played around here have, you know, been to, you know, Hopkins Field numerous times before the River Dragons and played Legion games or played some type of game. Did you have any experience at the field before putting on the River Dragons jersey?
Oh, I did not actually.
Oh, really?
No.
That's cool.
You know, my brother, my father, you know, they all played there growing up and stuff, but I never had the opportunity to play there.
And that's awesome. And now you're just playing for, you know, the pro team down here. You know, that's fantastic. Well, take us through, you know, how the season went. Did it start off okay? I didn't get a chance to watch early on, but it seems like you found your swing pretty quick, huh?
The team, we started off really hot. You know, we came out, I think we won, I think we started off like 18 and 10 almost, something like that. You know, we were really hot off the start, and you know, the bond between all of us was really quick. You know,
Right.
it's weird when you have a group of 30 people, you know, all across the country that don't know each other, and then 3 days later, you know, you're just kind of thrown out on the field together playing. And you know, Dallas and Daryl did such a great job of giving us the opportunity to build relationships together and with them, and you know, that just makes it easy to play. And I think, you know, we started off 6-0.
Right.
And in that 6-0 snap, we had an extra inning walk-off against us, against the Danville Dans. So, I mean,
Right.
hypothetically, almost being 7-0, so we couldn't have started off hardly any better than that.
No, you couldn't. And it's really, I mean, like I said, you guys really have that team atmosphere, that family atmosphere. And that's what I was telling, I had Dallas Martz on the show just a couple of months ago. We were talking about that, just the fact that it was so fun to watch you guys interact with each other and just love the team. And I want to ask you, you know, starting off the season, you know, I hate to do this to you because I had, you know, when I was playing soccer and all that, I got the same questions. But what was the final batting average number? Do you remember it?
I believe it was 361.
That's incredible, man. That is incredible.
So-
Now, did you start off, did you ever have a time in the season where you thought, man, I'm really not seeing the ball well? Did you have any adjustments you had to make with the staff? How did it go for you that year?
I never, throughout the season, had anything. I mean, there was a couple, you know, game stretches where I didn't feel the best, but the main worry I had was actually going into the year. I broke my second metacarpal in my index, like my
wow.
index finger in the spring at Lewis and Clark, sliding into second base, and my first game back was after that, and I really wasn't even cleared to play yet. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch a fly ball. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make contact. And you know, I think I had a 1-for-3 game, and I was like, okay, well, I should be all right. And then I got off to a little streak actually, and you know, I think I kind of forgot about the injury once we started winning. You
Right.
know? So getting back into the groove, you know, of just playing in general, you know, my body was sore as ever, but, you know, it was a really good time just getting back out there. But other than that, you know, I didn't really find any struggles. You know, we had so much help, you know.
Right.
We took videos of each other hitting.
Yeah,
and,
take us
know,
through that. How's the staff treat you guys? What's the kind of functionality there between the relationship between staff and the players?
So it's honestly, you know, really advanced for this league, in my opinion. You know, I notice when we're taking BP, you know, we got our general manager, we got our,
Right.
you know, we got our scorekeeper, we got all of our coaches. You know, we got Butch Chapman out there throwing BP.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think they got so hot on that turf, you know, a couple games into the year, we ended up just all hitting with our shirts off. You know,
I don't
it's
blame
just
you.
no one else is doing that type of stuff when you go to their ballpark. And, you know, we're playing some groovy 70s music and then some rock. So I think we just have such a great, unique environment compared to everyone else.
Yeah, and you know, you guys had a lot of great moments throughout the season. You know, whether it's, you know, the walk-off grand slam and the playoff game, from what I remember. You know, take us through what were some of the highlights of that season for you, and tell us how those kind of went.
For myself or the team?
Yeah, for both. You know,
I
whatever
would say,
you think.
you know, when Eric Brockmeyer hit that walk-off.
Oh, my
grand
God,
slam.
yeah.
I mean, you can't write a better script than that. So I would say that, and I would say, just like the little stuff, you don't want to take that for granted. I remember when we were in Chillicothe, Ohio for the championship, and they were like, hey, we might need to pack up our stuff, after the bus ride. So we played the second game, right? And then they were like, okay, we don't know if we're coming back. And I left all my stuff in that hotel room because I knew we were winning game 2 and coming back for game 3. So just this little stuff, like just hanging around the clubhouse with the guys, you know. You don't even realize you're spending 8 hours, 9 hours a day up there between the beginning and the end of the day. And, it just kind of flies by. So just that little stuff, building relationships. But I'd say highlight-wise, Eric Brockmeyer hitting that walk-off. Watching Eddie King Jr. hit 15 home runs, 16 including playoffs, just that little stuff, Besides that, everything was just kind of highlight.
I totally get it. And, a lot of times we do have some younger, players, younger individuals that are watching the show. What's your kind of routine before you get into the box to take your swings that day in case any young baseball player is watching and wants to kind of learn your rhythm a little bit?
Before the game, I don't try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I just try to hit like line drives. If it's outside, hit it the other way. If it's inside, turn on it. But nothing crazy. And then getting in the box, I just try to get in there with the most confidence as possible. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have a minute-long walk-up song. You don't have to, pop your chain or do anything crazy. But I think, if you just go up there and you tell yourself, you're going to succeed, you're going to be off a lot better than if you're telling yourself you're going to get out, I think a lot of that game, our game, is mental, and I think going up there with a good mentality goes a long way.
Absolutely. And, a couple of, one more big question for you. And you're coming back next year, right, with the River Dragons?
Yes, sir.
What are you looking forward to the most? I mean, obviously, we're all waiting. I mean, you guys don't see it yet because I was going to show you later, but we had a Western Conference Championship, victory here in 2022. I think we win the whole thing next year.
I don't think there's a doubt in that. But that's what I was gonna say is to get another one of these rings that says Prospect League Championship on it. So I think that's the goal, and that's always been the goal. But we were about as close as you can ever get last year, and I think that's what we'll accomplish this coming up year.
Absolutely, and congratulations on all of the success. For one last thing before I let you go, for somebody who is still kind of curious about going to the games, you've already packed the place so many times, and people are really enthusiastic. But share with our listeners that might be a little bit out of the loop with the River Dragons, why to come to the games, why to come out and watch this team win some championships next year.
So it's a completely different aspect than. So, you take your kids to a Cardinal game, you're sitting 200 feet away. You come to a River Dragon game, after you watch the game, you can get an autograph. You can come out there and run the bases with the players, And I remember being a little kid and going to my brother's games and stuff like that, they just seem so, they seem so professional. So I think to, these kids, come out there and just watch the game, you get a hot dog.
And you aren't going to pay a mortgage payment for the hot dog, too. That's the best thing I can think of right then and there. And watching great young talent. Blake, anything left off that I left off that you want to highlight before I let you go?
But just like I was saying before, it's a great program. Dallas March does a great job.
Fantastic
bringing in the guys, making sure we got the food. And, when we go on these trips, we're all fed well. You get a Subway sandwich or pizzas, whatever we need. He's providing it, we all got our own bed, everything. So, and just, it's a great coaching staff as always, in and out, whoever they bring in always does a great job. And, it's just fun, we don't take it, like crazy serious, we're not strict, if you're getting your work in and you're having a good time and you're playing well, we're having fun. So it's not like you're going and signing up for the military like some of these other programs. We sit back and we relax, and then when it's skate time, we play and we show up, and then after that, we just have a good time.
And that's what makes it fun to watch you in the batter's box, Blake Burris. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on all the success. And next year when I see you, you're going to have 3 rings on. That ring, the next ring whenever you take the hitting title, and the championship ring, too. I can see it now.
We'll see. I'm just hoping for one more.
We'll be right back after this.